Welcome. I'm Peri, Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic, and it's nice to have you here. And we're in a beautiful, it's sort of near Greenwich Village, New York City, and it's been a gorgeous day. And I hope you had a good Halloween. And so I don't know about you, but the moon, as there's a full moon in Scorpio today, and I have been trying to get my brain to work, and it keeps coming up with this little message that says like reboot. I was right before the show started, I was outwitted by a box of Mentos, which is hard to do, and I was sitting here trying, writing part of the show today, and my brain was like, nope. I said, no, we should talk about the moon, and we should talk. My brain's like, how about a show about the history of dryer lint? And I'm like, no, that's not working for me. So, or fun things to do with old nails. So if you've been having that kind of day, the moon, when there's a full moon, I mean, we've all heard the word lunatic, which comes from the Latin luna, meaning moon, and tic, meaning small blood-sucking thing. No, lunatic means the ancients observed that during a full moon, people would act a little goofy. Just being a little spacey, or maybe the day is just a little off. So the good thing about the full moon in Scorpio is that if you're making intentions, or if you're going to use tonight to just sort of sit with yourself and think about what you'd like and who you are, it's a really good time. Scorpio is about truth, and it's about transformation. It's also a little about sex, but what you're doing your own time is your business. And Scorpio is a really good time to get to your own deepest truth so you can transform into a better version of yourself, you 2.0. So before we take calls, I was thinking, having decided not to go with the history of dryer lint, I was thinking about heartbreak. We've just been through something called Venus retrograde, which means that it's a time when sometimes relationships don't work out, or you're reassessing them. And I'm a songwriter and a singer, at Summer's Movie and cool people like that. And so I wrote a little sort of jazz song on the way over, and if you have a minute, it's a little about that feeling you have when you're mildly heartbroken. So it's called Non-Essential, right? Non-essential, a luxury item or two, a drug you could do without, was about what I was. Wasn't I goodbye, darling, to you? Non-essential, a decorative throw for your bed, a pit you didn't need. Didn't I, darling? It's true. Did I heed your cries of I will love you? No, not I. Am essentially simple, essentially good, essentially stupid, to think that I could have been anything but nothing, a non-essential to you. So I think we all know that feeling. And not the feeling of sitting in a wing chair singing a recently written jazz ditty, but the feeling of feeling like, did I actually matter in this relationship? Was the other person just kind of playing me? And I get asked this question a lot. So I've asked it myself a few times. But here's the thing. When you feel a connection with somebody, whatever happens later, that connection's real. So if something is not working out with somebody right now, or maybe you've decided to go in two different directions. Maybe what I'd like you to know is it was real. And you can really have that. You can keep it because nobody can take good memories away from you. Anyway, so the other thing I was going to say is this week, before you enter a room, I have this little magic spell that I'd like you to just say to yourself for confidence and to feel like you're better. It's a very simple spell. Here's what you do. You throw your shoulders back, and you say to yourself, I am beautiful and I am loved. Close your eyes, breathe in, throw your shoulders back, say to yourself again, I am beautiful and I am loved. And enter that room with all the confidence you ever wanted to have at your fingertips. I've used that since I was a 15-year-old model in New York, and I'd be going to parties with for people who were into me like, oh, scary, like famous grown-ups. And it never fails. So if you've got holiday functions coming up, if you've got first date or 15th date with somebody who's fabulous, before you walk in, I am beautiful and I am loved, and throw your shoulders back. Okay, so let's see. Are we ready for callers? Mr. Dave Solomon, my fabulous producer. And Dave, are you there, Dave? All right. What, Jerome? Oh, cool. Hi. Josh? Is that the name?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. You. How can I help you?
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me just make sure everything's good here. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can hear you now.
Great. And you've got a fabulous view of the ceiling. So thanks for calling in. When today? Just today. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. So before we start, just tell me what day is your birthday?
My birthday is 10/7/77.
Oh, wow! You got such a vibrantly young
Lots of
spirit.
seven.
It's great to get so much wisdom in that. Cool. Oh, and happy birthday!
Yeah.
Happy recent birthday. So how can I be of service today, love?
I'm trying to find my path, and I know my journey is long, but I'm trying to see what I'm brought here for.
It's a great question. It's fantastic you should bring this up, because just talking about this with a famous friend who's reinventing herself, and one of the things that sort of suggesting to her is that when we reinvent ourselves, and we're not 25 at the moment. I mean, I was 25, but it turned out to be a phase. That it's important to bring all of the people we've been into our present and ask them for the wisdom that accumulated. So the first thing I'd ask is, it feels like we want to make a fresh start, but take a minute and acknowledge all of the different jobs and the different things you've tried out, because we just think it all starts or a time. It's not the case.
Right.
So and what you did was essentially when maybe you thought you were not on point, what you actually were doing was you were sort of growing different fruits from different trees and bushes to make this fabulous recipe now, right? It feels to me like you have, you're very you have an insight to people that,
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do. You really do. And it becomes difficult for you, you know? I think that having an insight and the constant truth that you have has not always been easy. I think that maybe in your family, is that right? Maybe in your family, you were the truth teller, and that didn't always make you popular. So,
right.
It's great to have. So I also am getting energy, and a lot of, I think, you don't really notice what impact you have in people. I think if you look back over the people whose lives you've been in, that you'll notice that each of these people has changed for the better.
Yes, I have affected thousands of people, I'd say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other thing is, you definitely have some artistic talent.
Yeah.
Now, and that's lovely. I mean, it's something it's a little hard to do for a living. But you know what? Maybe it isn't. Never.
You never know.
Yeah, never know. And I just had my guys just said the oddest thing. They said, if you wanted to start like a side hustle, doing like little paintings or greeting cards that are hand painted with just something, a beautiful sentence that you come up with, because you have a way of just coming out with these sort of poetic truths. You do, don't you?
I've did a couple of paintings. Nothing to sell anything, but yeah, I've enjoyed it for sure.
If you also wanted to study Reiki or energy healing,
I already did that.
You have a very what?
I already did that.
Oh, great. Okay, then I'm picking that up from your aura. So, and the other thing is, you have a very, I'm going to say shaman-like energy. What I mean by shaman is shamans are people who have a spiritual connection with earthly things. So I have friends who are terrific at, like, crystals, and they really understand how to work with that energy. And to me, they're like, oh, pretty rock. And if it's diamond, I'm interested, but otherwise, like, oh, I don't get it. But you do get it. You can work. Yes, you do. You can open up your own practice because you're also quite psychic. That's something that I think you've been a little in the past. For you, trusting the first thought that you get. We always think our first thought is our real first thought. Our first thought is actually before the first thought we recognize. It's a little like peripheral vision. Right? When you go outside and there's
just knowing. Sentient. Clairsentient? I'm trying to think of what it was called.
Yeah. It feels to me like you could, you've already done a lot of good in your life, and what's interesting about you is the jobs you've had have been, it's almost like you have a, what do they call it, a pastoral ship when you're, so all of the jobs you've done, you've had some real success. But you're very friggin' bright. And again, you have that insight into people. You also understand sort of the game of business. That's not that interesting to you anymore. You're interested in everyday sort of finding your deepest truth and helping other people find theirs. And that is, so whether it's life coaching, whether it's opening a Reiki practice, whether it's combining all of these into sort of an energy healing thing, those are all things
that's
you
the path I'm on now.
Huh? What?
Well, I'm going to school to be a chiropractor now, a doctor. Chiropractor.
Great.
So that's what I'm going to do.
Yay! Okay, that's exactly what I want you to do. I also would like you to keep a notebook by your bed. I like writing things because the neural pathways are strengthened. And a good thing. You know this, right? Who am I talking to about neural pathways? Okay, but I think you've been having a lot of dreams that are fairly profound.
Right.
And I want you to wake up every morning and just write for 10 minutes when you wake up, because you have a writing talent. You can be a little shy. And you've got a lot of wisdom. So I would ask you to maybe write for a month and then go back over the things you've written and either put your wisdom into like a little book you can sell on Amazon, or put it on a website or a blog. You have a lot to give. You have a very specific and very valuable and completely unique point of view. And the great thing about you is you have a lot of mystical talent, but there's no bull there. It's just like straight. Yeah. Yeah. Did that help? I can also, let me pick a card for you too in a second. It's so nice to meet you. Where are you calling from?
Nice to meet you. I found somebody off of the empath group from Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Great. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it looks to me like this is going to, the thing you're doing is really going to work for you, because as I'm sure you know, the, excuse my nails, the Ace of Cups is the beginning of a new cycle and a new time of just real happiness and truth and expression. And also, also a little love. If you're looking for love, I feel like you might be in a relationship, but if you are, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm married with a couple kids. Mm-hmm.
Cool. It feels like the going to the chiropractic school, which is also going to renew your love with your wife. You're going to see each other. I really like her too. Although she's got a physical issue that I want her to look at, something to do with blood sugar. Okay, so you know.
Okay.
Well, there's a natural healer and a natural diagnostician, but the other thing you bring to it, and then I'll let you go, is that you see people's specific and unique greatness, and you make a space for that. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing what you do. So keep in touch, will you? And maybe on my website, you're just welcome to say hi and send an email. I'm really curious because I think you really have a lot to offer.
I want to bring mankind a lot of healing and, lots of love, of course, and try to heal whoever I can.
Yeah. Great. All right. Thank you, Manira. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks. All right.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Okay, keep in touch, and we've got 7 minutes for the next caller. And hi. Who is this? Hello. I'm sorry, didn't hear your name is?
My name is Kathy.
With a C or a K?
I'm in Florida.
Great. Is Kathy with a C or Kathy? Okay, cool. They're totally
Kathy
different
with
names.
A K.
Yeah. And so, Kathy, just tell me your birthday, and would you like, you want to talk about a specific thing, or would you like just a broad overview, or what works for you?
Well, I kind of like to talk about a specific thing. My birthday is February 19th, 1956.
Oh. How extraordinary. I just did a 3-hour session with somebody who was born on the exact day and year. That's amazing.
Oh.
Whoa. That's great. Well, that's what I call a confirmatory coincidence. So it means that what you're about to ask is important, and it also means that you're in alignment with your higher self right now. So keep going.
I'm trying I was in a relationship that ended, and he ended it, and I haven't heard from him. And I'm trying to find out if I'm going to hear from him, or kind of where am I?
I'm sorry, sweetie. Just so you know, this has nothing to do with you. One thing I get about this person is getting a lot of natural healers in the show today. You have a healing energy, and those of us who have that sometimes can attract people who need healing, and that can be a little challenging. I also think this person might have a substance problem or some kind of, maybe an addiction, whether you know about it or not. So I think the things that took this person away from you had to do with his not wanting to grow into the person that he knew he could become with you, his best self. And I think he started to really get happy and grow into his best self. And honestly, I think he panicked. Not everybody is brave enough to do that. So what I'd like you to know is this had nothing to do with you, how lovely you are, how good and necessary a person you are. And this had everything to do with somebody who had been a little broken, had a chance to become whole, and sometimes people are just more comfortable being broken. So if he gets help for the issue that I see with him, I think he will be back, but I don't think that's going to be sooner than 3, maybe 4 months. And I would really concentrate on yourself. Let me pull some cards for you, too. Is any of this ring true for you? Kathy?
Yes, I'm here.
Does any of that ring true for you? Make sense?
I didn't understand.
Oh, I said what I was saying before about how you, again, like the previous call, you have a natural healing gift, and sometimes those of us with natural healing gifts can attract people who need healing, right? So what I was saying before
I understand.
Okay, great. So I was just wondering if that felt right to you.
It makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I just didn't understand how he left, the way he left.
Well, if it's any consolation, Kathy, he didn't either. He's not really in charge of his life or his feelings right now. And that's something that is a little difficult for the people around him to understand. And so what I get, the first card I picked for him was the, which I've now completely done something with. Sorry about that. First card I picked for him was a card that indicated that he was going to be kind of hermitizing. It's a card of somebody who is just he's isolating, is what he's doing, right? So, and again, that has nothing to do with you, that has a lot to do with his fear. As my friend Norris Church Mailer used to say, some people just aren't happy unless they're unhappy. And again, I really want to tell you not to take this personally. This card is like what's surrounding you right now. And what you're looking at is spilled golden cups. But if you turn around, there are full golden cups, which means you need a little breathing space here, because he was a little hard to understand in the last month or two. And there are reasons for that I don't think he was really forthcoming about. Oh, it was this card. That was the first card I got. And this is somebody who's not dead. They're just sort of retreated into themselves, into isolation for a bit. And the transformation card is having to fight for what you want. He is going to come to a place where he realizes he does want you and he will fight for you, but he is going to be kind of absent for a little while. And what I would do, this is a time of like when a bone breaks, it feels stronger at the break. The Five of Pentacles represents that time when something is breaking, but it's going to heal stronger. So have some faith that you're going to be taken care of, that he's in the light, and you might just want to, in your evening prayers and meditations, just picture him in the light and send him love. Send it from your heart chakra. I think he's really going to feel that. He needs you. He wasn't honest with you, and he didn't treat you well during this breakup. But just know it wasn't anything you did. He just kind of had a bit of a breakdown. But you're going to be, this is great. You're going to be fine. You actually have some money coming up, too. And, wow, you have some good stuff coming up here. The last thing is, this looks like, he is going to be coming back. The Death card upside down says this isn't a permanent break. But 3 or 4 months, they want you to really, really work on what makes you happy.